In the mountains of Big Bear, the manhunt for fugitive Christopher Dorner comes to an end.
We hope we can take this guy into custody, and we hope that he doesn't hurt anybody else.
Inside a cabin, the sheriff says the former police officer and accused cop killer barricades himself inside a home.
Stand by, you got 3 more coming your way.
Almost immediately, an exchange of gunfire.
He's got a rifle.
With the SWAT team on scene, 2 officers are wounded and are airlifted to a local hospital.
Enough is enough. It's time to turn yourself in. It's time to stop the bloodshed. It's time to let this event and let this incident be over.
Police say Dorner's murder spree began 9 days ago. The bodies of Monica Kwan and Keith Lawrence were discovered in a parking lot. A revenge killing, say detectives. Kwan is the daughter of a former police captain.
Suspect vehicle still outstanding. It's a black Nissan Titan.
Last Thursday, with the manhunt for Dorner underway, police say he opened fire on 2 LAPD police officers. One was grazed in the head.
Officer shot multiple times.
A short time later, detectives say Dorner opened fire on 2 Riverside police officers. 34-year-old Mike Crane was killed. With no sign of Dorner in the city, officers in Big Bear discover his burnt-out truck with a cache of weapons inside. For the last 6 days, officers have cleared cabins and combed through the forest. Today, they finally found their man.
There were reports earlier today that there may have been a hostage situation inside one of those cabins. The LAPD tonight says that report is unconfirmed. There was also a report that one of those 2 officers who was injured was gravely wounded. Tonight, that too is unconfirmed. Brian.
Miguel Almaguer starting our reporting in Los Angeles tonight. Miguel, thanks. Now let's go to the scene. Our friend Chuck Henry has been anchoring much of the local coverage for our NBC station KNBC all afternoon long. He is with us from Big Bear via the telephone. And Chuck, what's it like there?
Well, Brian, I think you'd be interested to know that this cabin, which is much like the kind of image you would find at any ski resort, it's split level, is less than 2 football fields. In fact, I would estimate a football field and a half from where the police had set up their command post at a ski resort. Right now, they are evacuating the people on the ski resort. There are a lot of anxious parents trying to get up their kids who came up here to snowboard today, and they can't get to them because San Bernardino County sheriffs have really cordoned off this entire area. Sheriffs are in the home right now. They are going through it. As I say, it would look like a typical ski resort, like a chalet that you'd find at most any resort. We just received late word that down on Highway 39, which is one of 3 ways in and out of Big Bear, that there was a second shooting involving officers, and we understand that 1, possibly 2 officers have been hit. Brian?
Chuck Henry reporting from Big Bear tonight. Obviously a changeable situation that could go into the night. Chuck, thanks. And with us from our New York studios is William Bratton, former chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. And Chief, I'm curious, first off, how do you think this ends?
Well, certainly law enforcement is hoping that he will surrender without any further loss of life or injured officers or injured suspect. At the same time, I understand the reports are that he is actively engaging in gunfire with the officers surrounding the cabin where he is located. So let us hope for the best that it ends with his surrender. At the same time, he's somewhat in control of that situation.
You're, of course, now indelibly linked with this guy because of the photo of the 2 of you, though you've said in repeated interviews that you have your photo taken with hundreds of officers for various events when you ran LAPD over the course of the years. Looking at this, I guess I've learned that a motivated, determined, and trained person, one individual, can really terrorize an entire region. What have you learned from this when it's all over?
Well, actually, several years ago, we had 2 individuals who had no training totally terrorized the Washington East Coast region, the sniper incident there. In this case, we have an individual, highly trained police officer. Nobody trains better than the LAPD, and also the cross-training with the military. It is frightening from the standpoint that this is a domestic terrorist, and we always have the fear of international terrorism and these type of lone wolf activities. This one has been certainly historic in the sense and unprecedented in its scale and its nature.
This has been a disturbing case for you to watch, as it has everybody else. Chief Bill Bratton, thank you very much for coming on the air with us tonight from New York. All of this, of course, going on. Here we are in Washington on Capitol Hill as the president is getting ready to deliver the State of the Union address tonight. Our political director, Chief White House correspondent Chuck Todd, across town at the White House with a preview. Chuck, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. As you